This just in from the Newswire.
Oh.
It looks like No Wrong Answers is going to be on another news show.
I was trying so hard to think of something wild for news, and all I could think of was like zoo here. Like what? Folks, I got the second dose. I got the second dose of the vaccine yesterday, and so we are in for a wild ride.
Yeah, Paula is being an absolute trooper and keeps being like, I can record. And I'm like, Paula, I don't think you can record. And she's like, I can record.
Josh and I record over video chat, and I think that he can see the life slowly draining from my eyes.
It's like in a video game where you watch the health meter just go down slowly as someone's been like poisoned.
The vaccine is great. I'm just very tired. I feel fine. You should get the vaccine when you're eligible.
100% get the vaccine.
Yes.
You just might be tired for the second day. Anyway, we're going to be on WGN Morning News this Saturday. So after our hit performance on Fox 32 Chicago, we
sang the entire thing, and they kept saying, please, please, please stop. And we were like, yeah.
We are going to be on WGN, which is...
I'm losing it.
For those of you not in Chicago, WGN is the Chicago Tribune's news TV station. It's like a Chicago staple.
People get it everywhere. My parents get it in Minnesota.
Yeah, and so we're pumped about this. So if you want to, I guess, set your DVRs or set a timer, you can probably watch it online live too. If you have cable, good for you. It's going to be on Saturday morning, the 20th. At about 9:40 a.m. is what they're telling us. That might change. We'll look on our social if that does change. But generally, like 9:30, 9:40, we will likely be on the news playing No Wrong Answers with them.
We're very excited. We'll also try to post the link when it's done. But
come watch us be very nervous.
Come watch us knowing that I'm messaging Josh the entire time. What if I throw up?
Welcome to Being Earnest, a very sincere podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Paula.
And we're here to talk about the earnest topics that make us happy or earnestly angry. And from there, see where it goes.
We're trying out some new taglines, and I like that one.
Thank you. I can retake it if we don't want to do that.
No, I like it.
What's our topic this week, Paula?
Our topic is sleep.
Oh, counting sheep, baby.
Sheep. Ooh la la. This is one of those really fun topics that you and I are both like, wow, we did sleep, but we didn't. But sleep was one of the very first ones that you and I recorded, and then we threw it out to the wind. We said, this is not good. And so we threw it out.
Yeah, it was like,
do it again now.
It was one of our test episodes, I think.
Yeah.
When we were like, is this a thing that could actually be a podcast? Turns out it can be. And now we're coming back. It's like a retro release of a sports uniform. Paula, how are you at sleep? How good you sleep?
How good am I at sleep? I would say once I get asleep, I'm very good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would say I'm so good at sleep that in order to wake up, I need to set, I'm not joking to you, Josh, I need to set probably 30 alarms. Let me show you. So this is on an average day. Let's say I start at 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
This is how many alarms I set.
So Paula, I want to comment on this just for the listeners at home. She's still scrolling.
Yeah.
And we're now to 9 a.m. Yeah, that was a full, 7 seconds of scrolling. They're all at non-regular intervals, which is the piece that freaks my brain out. That it's like 1 minute difference, 2 minute different, 3 minute, back to 2 minute, back to 3, back to 1. There's no pattern.
Yeah, and that's because there's something wrong in my brain where it has to end in 3, 7, 11. Like there's certain numbers that are good numbers to wake up at. And so I really can't describe it. Like for some reason, the alarm cannot be at like 6:30. It has to be at 6:31, 6:33, or 6:37. And there's no rhyme and there's no reason to that. But I can tell you if I woke up at 7 a.m. exactly, probably something bad would happen.
That's wild.
Absolutely. And if my therapist was listening to this episode, she'd go, yes. There's actually a lot of names for stuff like that, but we don't need to go into it.
Wow. And so on average, of that 7 seconds of alarms, do you need all of them? Do they all go on in the morning and then you need all of them to get up?
It is when I set my alarms tonight, Josh, it is chaos. I have probably set like 15. I'm really, really, really trying to wake up early to have a life before work starts because I
Sure.
think, especially like working from home, I never talk about my day job on here, but I have meetings at very weird times because we have people in other countries. So like if I have a meeting starting at 7:30, I love to wake up at 7:29, run into the room, say, "Oh my God, something is wrong with my camera." And then like quick get ready on the meeting. Like it is chaos. So I am trying to get up earlier, have a semblance of a life, and then log into the meeting.
That's
So
really
didn't answer the
healthy.
question. That was a different question I answered.
Yeah. So I guess to get to that semblance of a life, what percentage of the alarms do you need to set?
I set 11 to 17 alarms. And I will say, like, I will not get up for the first half hour of an alarm. It does not even occur to me to wake up for that first half hour. Does not even, in my brain, it does not even compute. Like that noise goes in one ear, is incorporated into the dream zone, and comes out the other. Like we do not even flinch an eye.
Wow. How often in your dreams are you like getting alarm sounds, or is it influencing your dreams? Or is it just kind of white noise at this point? It's like the white noise machine is just like,
To me, it's peaceful.
Yeah, sure.
And sure, with that many alarms, how many boyfriends am I going through?
Yeah, right. That was the other question I was about to ask. Not to turn this into an interview, but how's David doing?
I'll tell you what, that man has the patience of a saint. And so he's fine with it. I don't know. I do suspect that one day my downstairs neighbor, I really hope my downstairs neighbor can't hear it. And I try to be very cognizant of that. I also don't set the alarms very loud because I don't want to wake up anybody else.
Got it. Or yourself, apparently.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like this is, I'm not bragging to you. I'm not coming to you being like, my morning routine. Like I'm telling you, I live in a pit of chaos and I'm trying so hard, but it's not working.
That's wild.
But then once I wake up, I have a really, really good routine. I love to like wake up. I welcome in the day. I grab my phone. I scroll TikTok until the last possible second.
Sure.
Then my phone, before I'm even out of bed, my phone says, "You have used up all your TikTok time for the day."
Yeah, sure.
Because I have a limit set on it. And that is my routine. And then I quick make coffee and I start screaming that I'm late for my meeting.
Wonderful.
Thank you. And that's just like kind of like my girl boss attitude, routine, like what
Sure.
it takes to succeed in the world. Yeah.
Sixth wave feminism.
Absolutely. How about you? How good are you at sleep?
Paula, I'm the worst sleeper ever. I mean, maybe that's hyperbole, but like I'm not good at sleep. At every stage of it. At every stage of it, I'm bad. I am, as we know, a relatively anxious person.
What?
So I have a very hard time.
Hold on. My friend Josh?
My friend Josh, who was upset about the odd numbers that you set your alarms to, and also the fact that you didn't include 5 or 9.
No, 5 and 9 don't belong. It's 1, 3, 7. Done.
That's only primes.
Variations of 1, 3, 7. Oh, I didn't even notice, but no 5.
But also 5 is a prime too, and so is 2. I can't get into this with you. It'll be the entire podcast. I'm really bad at. I'm really bad at falling asleep because what happens is that, and I'll get to this in a minute. I have a whole sleep routine. I have a whole sleep hygiene routine beforehand because I'm so bad at falling asleep. And I get there, and if I don't do that hygiene routine, I lay down on my bed, ready to fall asleep, and I close my eyes, and every single thing I've ever done wrong during the day or in my life goes through my head on repeat. It's just like a news cycle of Josh's greatest failures.
It's like counting sheep, but instead of the sheep, it's just like a moment that you flubbed a line in a school play.
Yeah. Just people I've wronged who don't remember it. Like, when I was 11 or 12 and I was at camp and I was in games class, and someone gave me as a prize I didn't realize it was a prize at the time, but they gave me a pack of Uno cards, and we wanted to run around that day. And I was like, this is dumb. And I like threw it on the ground being like, yeah, someone else did it. I'm going to do it too. And when I realized it was a prize for winning the games the day before afterwards is what I realized is it was being given to me. It wasn't the activity. It was a prize for me. And I still carry that around.
Oh, no.
So like that's the kind of shit that goes through my head. And so yeah, just to finish this thought, I'm bad at falling asleep. I'm bad at staying asleep. I wake up at least once every night.
Oh my gosh.
Like definitely. It's not like 2 or 3 times. Even just little bits of like, okay, I'm up and I'm back asleep. I try, or I'll like need to go to the bathroom or something like that. And then you would think that like waking up would be easier, but it's either like my body wakes me up at a random time and it's like, we're up now. You can't do anything about it. Or it's like an hour before your alarm, or the alarm goes off and I'm like, I can snooze it. I can snooze this. This is a thing I can do. I can give myself a treat. And then I do that. And then I'm like, maybe another treat. And then like, I'm like, oh shoot, I have to get up. So just like at every stage of the process, it's a total disaster. And I just am tired.
I think this is actually a really fun vibe for both of us. We're both just chaotic sleepers.
Yes, exactly. Well, I've also, not to get, Being Earnest is the name of the podcast. I've battled with insomnia at various times. I've had a couple moments where I've for a month and a half to 2 months, I like really couldn't get sleep. I couldn't get to sleep, or if I got to sleep, it would wake me up at like 2 a.m. and then I couldn't fall back asleep.
And that is the worst, because I think when you are very aware that you are having a hard time sleeping, then there's so much pressure on sleeping. Like then you lay down and you're like, it is time for me to sleep. And then you cannot sleep because then you start counting down. It's a horrible cycle.
Yeah. And I think for me, the way that I fall asleep is not thinking about sleep. It's like how they imagine, like how most like fantasy and sci-fi is like, this is how you do magic. Is like, you don't think about it and then you just do it. I know some people in my life who are like, oh, I just think about, I should go to sleep now, and I fall asleep. And I'm like, that it's not an active thing for me. I have to completely forget that my body can sleep. And that's the only time that I can sleep. And so to your point, it's like, if I'm just like, I'm still up, I'm still awake, and like gritting my eyes to be like, I'm going to sleep, it just doesn't work.
And then do you do that thing where you look at the clock and you think, okay, if I fall asleep at exactly this minute, I will sleep for 6.5 hours, and 6.5 hours isn't bad.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's like you're like doing game theory with yourself as you're doing mental math.
Yes, you're like, okay, and now I will sleep for 6 hours and 17 minutes. That's not horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
I just need to fall asleep right now.
Yeah, I've done worse. Yeah, exactly. But your point. But I need to fall asleep, and now, and now.
Josh. Now, I do not remember a lot from my own life, and especially from this podcast.
Sure.
But your tips of sleep hygiene truly changed my life, even though that episode never came out. What can you regale our listeners with this story of sleep hygiene?
Yeah, totally.
The dumbest name of something, but it's
so
really
stupid. It's like, let me take a bath in my sleep.
It seems like sleep hygiene is just like gently washing your sheets.
Yeah, right, exactly. Which honestly actually is part of sleep hygiene, but yeah, totally happy to share. This is my earnest advice of the week because it really helped me when I was not sleeping very well. So there's a couple of things, easy things that you can do to improve your ability to fall asleep and stay asleep. And this is from my doctors and therapists and things like that. So I'm not an expert, but it has worked for me and apparently has worked for Paula, which is very exciting. So the first thing that I am terrible at, but is really important, is that you should try to go to sleep and wake up at approximately the same time every day, because it just gets your body in that rhythm of like, this is when we go to sleep and this is when we wake up, and it doesn't mess up your sleep cycles essentially. So like generally being like, I'm going to be in bed by 11:30 and then I'm going to get up by 7:30 or something like that. Being able to like have a regular routine, you don't change it too much so that like your body gets used to it. The second thing is try to turn off all of your screens before like an hour before bed. Like don't get anything with blue light, because it just wakes up your eyes. And try not to look at it. Try not to scroll TikTok. Like read a book, something like that. I know, me too. That TikTok has been the worst for my sleep habits, because then someone sends me one and I'm still looking at it and I just want to watch it. And so you do that. And then, just have a regular routine of what your like sleep ceremonies are. Like you get up, you turn off the TV, you get up, you wash your face, you brush your teeth, you get in bed, you read, or you do a crossword, or you do something that is like light mental exercise that will get you sleepy. And then you go to bed at the same time. And that is a huge piece of it. Also, what I learned was if you're having trouble falling asleep, tossing and turning is the worst thing you can do. Like you should just get up and out of bed, and then do something that is mentally stimulating enough to make you tired, but not so much that you're going to get like totally drawn into it. So a crossword, a word search, like reading a 19th century novel, like something where like it's just a lot of really big words, something to kind of like distract you from the kind of thing you do to like get rid of hiccups.
That is the most Josh thing I've ever heard, though. Like, do something relaxing and distracting, like a 19th century novel.
Yeah, well, but so the thing is, like, the brain process with a 19th century novel is like, ugh, I don't actually want to, like, this is too many words. It's too many words. Like, I'm not actually going to read Les Mis. It's like, I'm skimming every third sentence. I'm not retaining the information. Now I'm tired.
No one before the year 1920 had ever had fun. I am telling you that. No one had ever had fun. Everything they did was a miserable punishment for the ultimate crime of being born a human being. It's like, what were their games? Freaking poking a hoop with a stick. What were their books? Oh, here's a billion trillion words about, two cities.
The Dickens classic, a billion trillion words about two cities.
What was their music? Sad, no words. No beat. Hope you have fun doing this complicated dance and barely touching hands. Horrible.
But yeah, just kind of setting yourself up for sleep and making sleep an occasion and a ritual is kind of like how sleep hygiene works.
I mean, I don't follow it, but I love the rules so much.
Yeah, sure. I love knowing that there's a right answer.
Yeah, I love knowing that like there is something I'm doing wrong. And that's why I can't sleep.
Sure. Because you're just kind of quirky and different.
I'm just like really quirky and different. Josh, let me ask you now. This is a card from No Wrong Answers.
Our hit game.
Our game, our little game.
NoWrongAnswersGame.com if you want to order one.
There we go. Josh, now what are the ideal sleeping conditions disregarding the laws of time and space? What do you think you would go, this is so comfy, so cozy, I'm falling asleep?
Yeah, so great question. If I could be enveloped in like a medium firm, like imagine a floating like medium firm beanbag that enveloped me, but my hands were free, my arms were free. But it's like floating in midair.
Yes.
And I can adjust into it. I can move my arms if I need to, but it is heavy. It's like a weighted blanket kind of feel.
I was gonna say, yeah, something with a weighted blanket.
Yeah. But lumbar support, some back support in the thing. And then just a room of 360 white noise at like a 3 out of 10 volume. That is my and it's like it's warm under the covers and a little cool above the covers. That's my ideal. Like I'm floating through space in an orb that it contains this like white noise ideal Josh sleep bubble.
That is so.
And it's pitch black. It's pitch black.
I think I'm just gonna take that one.
Yeah.
instead of white noise, it's a cocoon, but it's all Seinfeld reruns.
So this is an interesting angle, is that like, I can't sleep to, I need white noise, but I can't sleep to like English language happening around me.
We would be horrible roommates.
Oh, well, yes.
Great friends, great podcast co-host, horrible roommates.
Yeah, totally.
Because I have to fall asleep with not just English, the sounds of Seinfeld.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I need to hear Jerry and
Is
the gang.
that Kramer out here again? What's the deal with this shirt? It's so puffy and it's a shirt.
There is something about Jerry Seinfeld's voice, truly. Like, I put it on and my eyes just go, time for bed.
That's so weird how you've trained yourself for that. How humans can be trained for that kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't have English language going because unless it's at like ASMR level kind of speaking, I listen and I'm just hearing the words. Like I'm listening to the words and it activates that like, all right, well, we're listening brain. Like I don't fall asleep to TV shows or movies. I can't do it because it's just like, no matter how boring it might be, my brain is still listening and I can't turn off the listening piece. Now, if it was like a French art film, who knows? I could try that.
God damn it. You want a 19th century novel. You want a French art film.
I also want just a lady in waiting that's sitting there and wakes me up in the morning and be like, Master Josh, how are you feeling this morning? I have your bath rep drawn.
Time for your 14 layers of clothing.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Yes. So I think my ideal sleep conditions, definitely Seinfeld reruns, but I love the pitch black. I love it being a little cool.
Yes.
Like, what if the weighted blanket is made out of clouds? Like very fluffy, but heavy.
Yeah. And
not wet.
Not wet. Not wet at all. No, gross. Not wet. And I like the idea. I would so much rather sleep cool.
Yes.
I turn the thermostat down at my apartment happens to the apartment I rent. I do not own this. It has a smart thermostat. It just happened to be there when I walked in. I know. But I would program any thermostat that I can program to be like 3 degrees colder after 10 p.m. no matter what, just because I want that like kind of like snuggled up sleep. I don't like sleeping hot. I get way too hot.
Now, you know that now this is the only scene in a Star Wars that I would ever reference, and I can't believe it's coming out of my mouth. You know the one where he cuts open the animal and he sleeps inside?
Yes.
Now that wouldn't be uncomfortable.
No.
Like, it'd be gross, but like the fur and the cold air.
Yeah. It's like, you know.
Do you think that changed his brainwaves where then like every bed he was like, it's just missing?
Yeah, when he like
guts?
goes, yeah, when Han Solo like and Leia sleep together for the first time, he's like, I'm sorry, like I know, like I have a bed, but I'm gonna need to cut open this tauntaun, and it's the only way I can sleep anymore. It's the only way I can sleep anymore.
Does this white noise machine actually have the sound of I guess it would be an animal taking its last dying breath?
Yeah. Listeners at home, that was a perfect tauntaun impression. if you've ever
could not tell you. But I think it was really good.
Thank you.
Well. Something topical as heck happened.
What is that, Paula?
We had to stop recording because I perhaps said earlier in this episode that I got my second vaccine. You should get it when you're eligible. And I was too tired to keep recording.
Yeah. Paula looked at me and it was just like pleading from the bottom of her soul through her eyes that like, Josh, I cannot make funnies anymore. I can't do this anymore. I must lie down.
I can't do this. And I did. And I spent the entire day on the couch.
Just to sleep.
Well, no, I watched a documentary about murder in the Mormon church. But other than that, yeah, it was really good.
Nora is also watching that.
It's very good. It's only 3 episodes. Quick, easy. By the director of Napoleon Dynamite.
What?
Yeah.
Wild. Well, it was topical. You slept or you like did things that were like sleep.
And here we are.
No, that's a Netflix show, right?
Just a nice soothing murder documentary. Lovely.
Well, so that's a Netflix show, right? Isn't it so rude when Netflix is like, are you still watching?
Wow. Josh, that pivot back into the conversation. Amazing. If they give out podcast awards, that would be nominated. Yes, it is so rude, especially this day and age. It's like Netflix. Yes, I'm still watching.
Yeah, it's like this isn't an original point that we're making. The people have put this on Twitter and things like that. But yeah, you're right. You're right that like in this day and age, it's like, of course I'm still watching. What else the fuck am I doing? Like, there's nothing else going on.
There's nothing else. It should say, are you still enjoying this one? Do you want to go back to, Always Sunny or whatever your go-to is? That's what it should say.
Yeah, exactly. Re-recommend you titles that you've already watched.
Are you still cognizantly watching this, or is this more of a background show? Because if it's background, let us help you out.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing. The reason that exists, I'm pretty sure, and we can fact check this later, but
we don't fact check anything on this show. Come on, Josh.
But I think it's because of their their viewer numbers and analytics. It's because they were looking at it and they were like, wow, our numbers are really, really good. We're getting so many views. And then they were like, oh, they're all happening overnight. And it's not that someone is watching. It's different than like, they were worried that like, or I think there was also a question of whether they were goosing their numbers because like it was just playing. It's like, so they were trying to figure out, because like if you watched 5 episodes of Always Sunny, but you didn't actually watch it, you were asleep, I think they have to pay Always Sunny for those views and things like that. So they were like, okay, hold on. What are our actual analytics that we're actually paying what we should? And we actually have real data on like what people are watching or not versus like allegations of like just turning on a bunch. If it were the other way around, you could turn on a bunch of TVs and just have them run.
Oh yeah. When we eventually get our television show, being Earnest, a very earnest television show, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a room full of TVs, each one constantly playing. They're going to go, this is the most watched television show of all time.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Just pay a farm and
monkeys to
pay a server farm in China to just do the
Keep going, buddies.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm always watching. I'm always still watching.
There's always something on. What is your go-to show that's like on in the background?
See, I don't do this, and I'm the weirdo who doesn't do this, and I know that. But I have a really hard time. I actually
always have a nature documentary going because I love to learn.
No, I just like I have a really hard time passively watching something. I get this has been the case since I was little, and this is true of my brother and my dad and me. We get very sucked into TVs and screens, like very, very, very sucked
like
into
Jumanji
it.
style, like you're in it.
No, Paula,
I haven't seen Jumanji, but was that relevant?
I haven't seen it either, but I think so.
Oh, I think so too.
Paula, I can't tell you how many escapades and japes and the amount of comic mischief that I've done inside of a TV from being sucked in.
Wait. Finish your story. Then I have a follow-up question.
Sure. All I was going to say is that like my mom would like try to talk to us and it would take 3 tries to be able to say anything. And like that holds true to be able to respond. And so like back in the before times when you could go to restaurants and like, especially if I was on a date or something like that, I would make sure that I wasn't on like if we were somewhere with a TV, which fellas, go to a bar without a TV when you're bringing someone on a date.
You know what? Good luck finding that in Chicago. Like literally the fanciest restaurants in Chicago are like, don't worry, we got the Hawks game in the corner.
Yeah,
like,
right, exactly.
There's no such thing as a restaurant or bar in Chicago without a TV.
Yeah, so I try to sit where I can't see the TV because I will get distracted and start watching it and be rude. Not because I don't want to be part of the conversation. It's just I will get sucked into it. Paula, your question.
Yes. Josh, so my question is right now, right this second, you're getting sucked into a television show. What show is it?
It's Ted Lasso. I know it's a close to reality situation, but I just want positive energy. I want people who are willing to reckon with their masculinity and their fragile masculinity in general. I want British accents. I know that that's like not the most whimsical option for this whole thing.
No, you don't want a whimsical option because like, can you imagine what kind of maniac says Game of Thrones?
Yeah,
like,
right.
You're like, no. You want something that's just like a nice, pleasant place to be with like a fun group of people.
Yeah, if you chose Game of Thrones, your options are very rich leader of a small nation state that probably will be poisoned or killed at any moment.
Haven't seen it.
Peasant. And in all of these options, like, there's not healthcare. You're getting dysentery.
This is a bad decision of you. Like, you go into Game of Thrones and like, honey, 30 seconds later, they get you with an arrow.
Right. And it's not like, and you also don't want to go into like a, like the Good Place or something like that. Or if you're like, oh, I want to go into the office. Imagine working in that fucking office.
Oh, yeah. No, that would be a nightmare. You'd be like, I'm never getting stuff done. These people are so annoying. Why is everyone kissing all the time?
Yeah, exactly. Now, I will say, I have been watching a lot of Better Call Saul, and I love Breaking Bad.
Oh, Josh.
I don't think I want to get into the meth game, but I do want to flip phone again.
But you would like to be a paralegal.
Yes, I would like to be a paralegal, and I want a phone that opens and closes with real buttons.
Well, we can get that for you. That doesn't have to be sucked into a TV situation.
But I want everyone to have one.
All right.
Paula, what's your answer?
Ooh, okay, so I was thinking like Adventure Time, like what's a fun cartoon, but we all know my real answer is RuPaul's Drag Race.
Now, here...
I know it's a reality show. I'm not an idiot. I just want to quietly sit on the sidelines because I feel like what I'm getting from a television edit is only part of the story. And yes, I'm watching Untucked, but that's only a second part of the story. I want to sit there in the corner and just watch all of it happen in real time, 24 hours a day.
Paula, you could just apply to be a PA.
Oh my God. I literally think I am literally telling you, I think that's my dream job. But here's the thing. I don't want to work.
Sure. Okay. I see how it works.
Like I don't want them to be like, can you go get the sodas? No, I don't want to go get the sodas. I want to put down a folding chair in the corner of the workroom and I just want to sit and watch.
I would love to taste and sample one of Bob's burgers. He seems like an artist. You know what I mean?
Ooh, okay. So if we have the power to go into a television, that is literally the job. It is literally a food tour through TV.
Oh, God, that's it. That's fucking it, right?
Way more fun because you don't want to be trapped in any of these. But like, yeah, I want to see like how good all the food is. Yeah, I want to see how good the meth is in Breaking Bad. Like, I want to see if all these things actually are as good as they
It's an experiential TV tour.
Yes.
I want to have a drink with Don Draper.
He would not like me. I'm not a sexy flight attendant. I'm not good at advertising copy. We have nothing to talk about.
Good thing I am both of those things.
Does Don Draper want to answer a series of whimsical questions? Like, in what world do him and I have anything to say to each other?
Yeah. I think that's going to do it for us.
I think that's going to do it for us. Why the heck not?
Thank you for listening for another week. We so appreciate you tuning in. We haven't asked this in a little while, but if you wouldn't mind writing a review on Apple Podcasts, that does wonders for us. If you're liking the podcast, if you want to throw a 5-star review up there, if you want to write a little, just a little blurb about how it makes you laugh and how it's getting you through the pandemic and how Josh and Paula are both absolutely beautiful human beings, you could say that and it would make us really happy.
And you can just use that exactly. You don't have to write anything else besides that. In case you missed the constant chatter about it, the constant post about it, the constant winks and nods to the audience about it, Josh and I do have a card game we created called No Wrong Answers, non-burning questions to kick off conversations. The cards are beautiful, designed by our pal Taher Modawala. They're beautiful cards. You're going to love them, filled with questions. We'll be on WGN on Saturday, so learn more there and go to NoWrongAnswersGame.com.
Yes, we'll be on WGN on the news at about 9:40 Central. So start tuning in at 9:30 a.m. Central.
Just turn on your TV at 8 a.m. to be safe.
Yep, and you can probably stream it if you're not in Chicago. Thank you, as always, to Ryan Cruz for our beautiful logo. She's at RB Cruiser on Instagram. And thank you to Dylan Dutch for our gorgeous theme song. He is at Dylan Dutch on Twitter, and you can find his music under his music project, Death Love, anywhere you stream or buy music. And until next week, just remember, don't fall into Game of Thrones. You don't want to be in Game of Thrones.
You don't want to do that. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good week.